This is my 9 by 36 inch rectangle loom. I have this one adjusted one rectangle length shorter than it will go, and there's another one more shorter rectangle that will let you weave and it'll come out perfect for you. That was the basic version. This is the 6 and 9 inch by 36 rectangle loom. Here it's adjusted to the 6 inch width at the full length. This is the same loom model, but it's adjusted to the 9 inch by 36, and it's the one I'll be weaving on today. Okay, today I'm going to do a weaving on my 9 by 36 loom. I've got 2 pounds of this acrylic yarn. I'm going to start off with something a little different for me. So I always weave the same. I'm a loom builder, not a weaver. But you can probably figure that out. I mean, I know how to weave, but it's not really my fashion is not my thing for sure. So I started at the S for start, and I turn the first single strand. I will turn where I have the red dots on the outside of the rail. Of course, we're returning on the right all the way back. We'll be looping around the pin that's on the right. So now that we've done that, we'll start the first weaving. Go around the pin first, grab the yarn, same thing here, around the pin first, grab the yarn, same way 4 times. This is a rectangle 4 times the width basically, so you do this 4 times. The same thing every time. 4 squares. Now it's already pre-woven, so on the way back you just put it in place, and that will complete the first complete loop. I think maybe I'll just do another loop and change colors already, because it's going to try a different pattern for me. So I'll just take you through that first color change. Always go over first. Put it in place. Keep the tension kind of loose, because it'll get tighter on you towards the end. Okay, now I am going to make my first color change. Cut off some extra because it's going to be a fringe on that end. So I want to tie a knot right there, but in order to get the knot in the right place, I'm going to take that back loose. So I've made my knot, an overhand knot, tying both of those in the same knot. Now I can continue on with the new color. Same thing, you just keep repeating it. and back. So I made there's 6 strands of yarn on the that band, that color band there. And I'm going to keep going with one solid color, with this color, till I get to the place where I can make the last 6 strands in the light color. Well, I decided to go ahead and do a second layer, do another double stacking and join them at the ends on this 9 by 36. So this is, at this stage, I'm using both hands to get the hook through there, and then when I get to the far end of the reach, I'm able to manipulate the yarn, get a hold of it, pull it through like that, pulling lots of slack. And when I do the next one, it's the same thing. Over, under. At this point, you really need to use the hook. Okay, I'm clear through. I've got to get it where you can see it. Then I do that, and I got a hold of it. Pull some more slack. It takes a while, but then that's part of the fun. When you weave through here, you need to leave an arc of yarn so you don't pull it too tight. Then when you pack it in, you're taking that arc and making a straight line out of it, so that'll actually loosen some of the tension. In other words, you don't try to pull it into a straight line, just let it make an arc like that. Okay, I've done the last complete loop, so now I have to measure the yarn to do the last single strand. Got a single pin at each one of these points. So I get to the end, and then I'm going to cut the yarn, and I'll only have to pull through just the one single strand. In the last few loops, I was a little bit more aggressive on pushing the yarn out of the way, so I would have a more of an open path for the hook. This 14-inch Afghan hook is barely long enough that I can get it all the way through, I think. But I may do the next reach, I may do in 2 stages just to show. This would have been the one to do it in stages, because down here at the very end, where that corner pin is, it can get pretty tight. Although I've got the hook through there, and I got a hold of the yarn, and of course, ordinarily, if it's 2 strands on a loop, I have to make sure that I'm pulling them through parallel so they don't get crossed. With the one single strand, I don't have to worry about that. So it's probably can be faster that way. You could do this last part with a needle if you had one, but especially with the adjacent yarns kind of pushed a little bit extra out of the way, this isn't much different than the procedure I've been doing all along. of the way, grab the yarn. You may have to twist it to get it, the hook needs to be kind of in a flat profile as you pull it through. Partly done. Oh, I was going to do it in stages just to show. Okay, so say I start somewhere in the middle. If you have a short hook, or if you're doing a bigger rectangle, this is the only way you're going to be able to do it, because the hook will just physically not reach through. Come on. Got it. That's one of the reasons maybe you want to do it this way. You have more control. Anyway, we're almost done with the top layer. And I'm going to join them at the end. I'm going to end up having a fringe at both ends of the piece, which will actually be both be tied at the starting end, that end. So I might as well take it all the way through. No, I'm not really into fashion. Like I said, I don't wear scarves. But then I've been thinking about that. I do, in the cold weather, here in the winter, it's a great time to be out riding quads, bikes and stuff out in the cold weather, and it is nice to be able to wrap something around your face. And I have used scarves that I made to do that, so it's not true. This one here, I'll be able to blend in with the environment, I guess. Alrighty, so all I'm going to have to do is tie that, finishing it in around that cross piece here. Tie an overhand knot around that, even though it's not going to come unraveled or anything if you don't. It'll just keep it from working back. Okay, we finished it. Just have to take it off. I already pulled the top layer off because I wanted to be able to get at the to put the fringe on the bottom part. The last time I did this, I did that first before I did the second layer. So let's just pull it off and see what it looks like. Okay, we have it all off on that side. This should just pull off. It all pulled off down to the end. Now we'll just pull off this end. You're doing the fringe, you have to be careful you don't put that lark's head knot around the nail. You can do the fringe after you take it off the loom, but I like to do it when it's on the loom because you've got the ends, the loops that you have to attach to, they're just held in place for you there. So this 36-inch loom is going to produce this 72-inch or 6 feet long scarf. I have a 6 foot long rectangle loom for sale. I've made a lot of them, but this is just to prove that you can do it with a short loom. Now it's completely off from, I still have to maybe tie in the joining thread pieces or cut them off. You cannot see the joining thread there in the center from that side because I used green. So there I have a 6-foot long scarf. My looms I still have on Etsy. Look for rectangle looms or Rogers looms. Rectangle loom.info.